record here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Money Monday. I have a special guest today for people who want to learn how to be private lenders. So, oftentimes, when we're thinking about real estate and real estate investing, we often hear, you should go into wholesaling, or you should uh, be a fix and flipper, or you should do short-term rentals, or all sorts of ways that you are able to make money from real estate. But one of the things that's rarely talked about is the fact that you could be a private lender. So I'm Cherie, I'm the money lady. I am one of the close associates to the team is Simply Funded. And I am here today with Greg Herlean, who is from Horizon Trust, to talk about how you can make money basically in your sleep without picking up a hammer or a nail or running behind contractors or any of that. You just wake up and hopefully 9.9 times out of 10, the money is in your account, right? So that is what private lending is, one of the benefits of private lending. So, Greg, first of all, welcome this evening.
Thanks for having me. Monday Money. I like it. Money
Money
Mondays.
Monday,
Money
Money
Monday. I
Monday.
love it. Thanks,
Yes,
Sheree. Thanks
yeah,
for having me.
absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so well, first and foremost, I have five kids, so that's partly why I've got to make as much money as possible. But that being said, besides the family life, I've been in the dropped out of college when I was 21 years old, and I got into real estate. And when I say I got into real estate, I wanted to be in real estate, but
Mhm.
it was very hard for me to find money and
Mm.
find banks. Didn't have any, much experience, and so I started a long time ago, 24, 25 years ago in real estate, but I started probably like almost everybody else. I wanted to be in real estate, but I had to find out where money was at, how to get access to it, how to scale and leverage it. And I did quite that. I've raised hundreds of millions of dollars doing what I'm going to talk about today. And it's created for a great lifestyle. It's none of it's ever easy by any means, but I do think there's definitely some things that you can do and people are just not aware of to leverage and scale their business. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, you dropped out of college at 21, which means you were almost done.
No, I went on a 2-year mission. So I actually did 1 year freshman year, went on a 2-year mission, came back and did one semester. So I
Okay.
lived in Ecuador and did a service mission. And so no, I didn't even get to 2 years.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Perfect. So that makes more sense. So, how do people like even begin to think about whether or not they can be a private lender? I know that you have a presentation to show us, so you're probably going to answer all of these questions and more within the presentation. But I guess let's start off with the biggest couple of objectives that people would have. Number one is I don't have a lot of money to get started. How much could I get started with and actually be a private lender? And number two is it really going to be hard? Is it going to be hard to find people? Is it going to be hard to find good projects? Things like that. So if it's answered in your PowerPoint, great. If not, then think answering those two questions give people a
Yeah, no, it's definitely answered my PowerPoint presentation. I've only got like 10 or 15 slides, probably like
okay.
15 slides. It's pretty quick, but I would say, because I just want to leave it open more for, for any questions that you might have, anything
Hmm.
I might not cover. But yeah, no, I definitely cover it. But I would say there is, when I first started in this real estate world and in the lending world, I someone taught me at a very young, in my early 20s, what I'm about to talk about today. And most people, when they hear about self-directing and or IRAs, retirement funds, they immediately turn off. In fact, it's not like this has nothing to do with my real estate business. How is this going to help me? In fact, I can't even if it has anything to do with retirement accounts, I can't even touch it till I'm 60 years old. So why does it apply? And I will tell you that if you understand a little bit about what I share today, it can completely change the way you scale and grow your business and find money for your business. And so I will share. I'm definitely going to share my PowerPoint, but I assure you that there's so much gold in this subject because I've seen it myself. You know, a kid that started with nothing, came from nothing, and really got good at this subject uh, to build my real estate career. And I think most people that I meet focus on their real estate career, but they focus on a deal, a
Mhm.
specific deal, or their real estate license. And I just struggled with that. Maybe just because I wasn't the smartest guy, but I felt like everyone around me had deals. Everyone
Mhm.
around me was a realtor. So I was like, well, how do I separate myself from all of them? And my message today is what I did to separate myself.
Oh, well, let's jump into your presentation. I'm
All right,
excited.
I'll jump into it here. Let me pull this up. Let's see here. See if you can see my presentation. Yeah,
Yes, we can see it. Yes.
great. All right, and as always, my little disclaimer here: I'm not a financial advisor, nor an attorney or CPA. So, if you've got those questions, I can share with you my opinion on how I've kind of overcome some of these things and learned. But you should always advise your own attorney. There's my disclosure for you. So, this subject for you today, in particular, the reason why it's near and dear to my heart is because of this slide, frankly. Uh, this slide is some data that I think most people are not aware of. There's over 105 million Americans that have an IRA in a retirement account.
Greg,
Uh,
your slide
yep.
did not progress.
Oh, let's see. It's still stuck on there.
Yeah, it's still stuck on your name.
Oh, really?
Someone's
Still?
saying it's in presenter view.
Oh, I don't know how to. Let me see here. Let's go back. I'm going to stop sharing and go again.
Yeah.
There's my. Oh, let's try this.
Yes, now we can see holding
Okay,
$22 trillion.
there you go. There
Yeah.
you go. So, so this stat is what changed my life when it came to real estate. Is I learned that there was over 100 million Americans that have retirement accounts with over, and right as of last year, over $22 trillion. So, so just this stat alone is probably one of the most important things for you to understand. Most likely, half of you listening today or will be listening or recording actually are one of these 105 million Americans. And what does that mean? This just means that you have a retirement account, most likely in the stock market, like everybody else, like your parents and your parents' parents did, unhappy in the stock market in a volatile place, and you had no idea that that money that you either have in a retirement account or that one of your friends or associates or someone else has in the retirement account could potentially be your business partner or private lender or your money on your next deal. And this is a key information and data because if you ever been in a spot where you're looking for money and trying to scale your business and a bank's not lending to you or you don't have enough equity for a deal or you need a business loan, too often we only go to hard money lenders, right? We go to hard money lenders or maybe a bank. Well, hard money lenders, they've got a specific thing they're looking for. Same thing with banks. You also could go to one of the, excuse me, over 100 million US citizens that have a retirement account, and they could be your lender or your partner. Or if you yourself are listening to this and have a retirement account, you most likely could use your old retirement account that's probably up and down the stock market, not performing great. You could use it as well to build and scale your business. So share this with you. Actually, just got married this last year, but I wanted to share three of my kids are doing what we're talking about now. And I share this because my youngest of kids, and I'm not a big proponent, by the way, of funding my kids' accounts. Now, people do that. I just feel like no one did that for me, so you need to earn it. And so they are. I did not create them for them, but my third, he just funded a Roth IRA with $2,000. I share that with you because a lot of people do ask, well, where do I start? How do I get started? I'm not necessarily looking for money, but I'm looking to build a retirement account. And my 18-year-old who just funded his Roth account, he's a second to the left. Yes, they're all pretty much taller than me. He's wholesaling. He's found his first deal 3 months ago, right before his senior year of school ended, and he's wholesaling a deal. His $2,000 is going to turn into probably about $12,000 inside of his Roth, and he will never pay taxes on that money because it's inside of a Roth. Now, my son to the left, he's doing what I'm talking about here as well, and he's 22, and he is lending his IRA to someone that is fixing and flipping construction equipment. That's not something I taught him, but it is something that he's doing with his IRA. He's making like 10 or 15% every 90 days. Phenomenal returns, beating the stock market. So I share this with you because it's now, and by the way, I'm not one of those, like you're going to work. None of them work for me. They've learned a lot from me, although they might not admit it. But they have learned a lot from me, and they're doing it. I see them living it, and they're, the things they're buying and things they're investing in. And so I share that with you because I know these principles work not only for me, but I've seen them on the scale of an 18-year-old doing $2,000. So, so just again here, this is the typical, in my opinion, this is what I believe when I open up my statement, or most people open up their statements in the 401k or their IRA, what's happening in their account. You don't really know what's going on. It's going up, it's going down based upon the presidents and the politics. And if Elon Musk smoked a joint with Joe Rogan, then all of a sudden, Tesla stock changes. All of this affects our retirement funds. And I don't think it's something that really gets me excited is I want to invest my retirement funds in things that I understand, like real estate and or people that I know. And so I share this with you because most of America, of the 105 million Americans that have IRAs, most of them are frustrated with the returns of the stock market. They're frustrated with the politics of the stock market. They're frustrated with maybe their advisory, et cetera. So uh, that was an opportunity for me. The more that I was in my young age, my young early 20s, when I learned about this concept that I'm going to dive deep into here in a second, uh, I really wanted to understand money and why people invested their IRAs in the retirement account and why they were frustrated with it. Because the better I understood that, the more I was able to talk to them about it and about potentially trying out and investing and partnering with me in my deals. So I just wanted to learn as much as I possibly could. And so, as I learned all about kind of investing, you and I both, Sharia and I both could invest. And I'll pick on Ashley because I see her here. Sharia and I can both put, $100,000 with Ashley in a deal. Now, Sharia could do it outside of her IRA from her LLC, and I could do it from my IRA. Both of us can invest in the exact same thing, but mine's inside my IRA and hers is outside of her IRA. And over the years, the difference in compounding interest is staggering. I would be over the years, if I invest with my IRA funds rather than outside of my IRA, I would have, in this example, millions more dollars, at least $1 or $2 million more than Cherie, if I invested on the exact same investments with the exact same returns. The power of compounding and earning profits on profits is truly life changing. And so my whole message, if you're listening and now or later, is if you have a retirement account, or if you're looking for someone to be your partner with the retirement account, the power of using your funds and investing in something like real estate that you understand and not paying taxes on those gains when you flip a deal or when you lend on a deal is truly life changing from a compounding interest perspective. And so it's just math, but again, It's most other people are investing in real estate outside of their IRA, so therefore they're paying taxes on their gains. Sure, there's some depreciation depending upon how you're investing and what kind of asset you're investing in, but not always, especially on flips, you're not getting depreciation. So, uh, look, a self-directed IRA is what we do at Horizon Trust Company. We help individuals who've been around for 15 years, and we have over a billion in assets. And my team of about 45, 50 employees, we help individuals unlock and utilize their retirement funds to invest in what they want. It's self-directed, so they get to choose where they're going to invest their money. So we don't, as a custodian, Horizon Trust Company, we don't advise and or recommend investments. Our job is to listen and help you control and put your funds to work in an asset class that you are comfortable with. This has not been around. This has only been around for 40 years, but it still hasn't been around for 40 years. I didn't create this. Government, believe it, big no surprise here, created something like this. Why? Because typically the rich keep getting richer because they're using these vehicles and tools. The politics have created these rules so they can go out and invest in businesses and invest in themselves and invest in precious metals and Bitcoin, etc., and not pay taxes, potentially ever, if they do it inside of a Roth IRA. So a self-directed IRA is simply that is our company allows you to direct your funds or someone their funds into an alternative asset, into some kind of real estate or some kind of different deal that's outside of the stock market. And if you want to be in the stock market with your funds, you should stay in the stock market with whoever you're working with. Most likely, we don't really focus on that. Our focus is to teach individuals that they can get access to their funds. And so that's what a self-directed IRA is. Those who qualify for a self-directed IRA is really anyone that has an IRA, or if you have an old 401k or 403b or 457, et cetera. So if you're currently employed and you have a 401k that you're contributing to, you can't move that to a self-directed. But if you have an old 401k, which is almost 50% of America has an old 401k, almost everyone's changed jobs in the last 5 to 7 years. They have some kind of small, and I say small because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I get this old 401k. It only has $25,000. Well, that's something you can do. You absolutely can do something with $25,000. You can use it to leverage. You can use it to scale, build your business. You can absolutely do a lot with a small amount of money. And my kids themselves have proven that. So if you have, and one clarifying thing is if you have an IRA currently or a Roth IRA or simple or SEP IRA, that IRA moves over to a company like ours. We help you do that. You can move over all or a portion of it to our company. And it's still a simple or SEP or a Roth IRA. That doesn't change. All that changes is you now have access to direct it, self-directed into anything when I say anything, I'll share with you what you can and cannot do, but almost anything that you like to invest in. So that's who qualifies. Like I said, over 100 million US citizens qualify for this. Only 5% of Americans do this. And because I believe it is not for everybody. I believe only 10 to 15% of Americans should be doing this because if you're going to put your retirement funds in a real estate deal or lend to somebody, you want to make sure you're doing your own due diligence. Make sure you're protecting your money. This is not for someone who's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to give it to someone I don't know. I'm just going to give them a promissory note with no collateral, not great terms. A lot of Americans, this is not for 9 to 5ers who just don't, who are not doing any due diligence on their investments. This is not for them. This is more for entrepreneurs, real estate investors, people that understand real estate and alternative business. That's who this is for. And I've seen people crush it. And what's great about making money in these retirement accounts, the way I'm sharing, is you're not paying taxes along the way, and potentially ever if it's inside of a Roth.
Okay, before you move,
Uh-huh.
Ashley is asking, do you also do solo 401ks?
I do, Ashley, and I got a slide on that here coming up next. And so I'd say more and more people are doing solo 401ks, and you'll see why here in a second. But yes, absolutely. And yeah, and I appreciate that, Sherry. Anytime there's questions, stop me, and I love to answer them, or either way, or keep them to the end. So I'm good either way. So what can you invest in? Here's a small list of what you can invest in. tax liens, businesses, joint ventures. 70% of our investors are investing in some kind of real estate. It's probably because of my experience and where I came from and what I used to do. We understand real estate. My team understands real estate. So um, when you are looking to invest your retirement funds in a real estate transaction, we're able to make sure the documentation is done correctly for you. I also say about 30% of the people that I present to or talk to don't have a retirement account. And they take this message the way I learned it when I was 22, 23 years old and introduce the concept to individuals so they self-direct and partner with them. And so that's why I think this message is so important for anybody at any age. It doesn't matter if you have an IRA account or not. If you're looking for business or you're looking for money to scale your business, you should learn this as best as you can. You should talk about it all of the time. But if you're not looking for money and you don't need to scale and looking for equity partners or private lenders, and you've got huge IRAs, then this is not for you. Which I think only 5% of the people fit in that area. So I go ahead.
I was gonna, we have a question, and then I wanted to make sure that I asked you a question as well. So,
Mhm.
Ashley is asking if she can invest in real estate in Dubai. She wants to use her self-directed IRA to buy a condo in Dubai. So, can we invest in other countries?
You can invest in other countries. There's certain rules when it comes to other countries, and so from that perspective, once I understand a little bit more, like if it's a condo that you plan on living in, you can't. You can't do that anywhere, even in the U.S. But if it's an investment that you plan on doing, or it's truly an investment you don't plan on using, you have people that do Airbnbs and they're like, "Hey, my IRA is going to buy it. I'm going to rent it out, and then once a year I'm going to use it in Hawaii for 2 weeks." That's a no-no. You can't use the asset. So, but you can for the most part. And so before I say for sure yes, what I like to do in those circumstances is have my compliance guy review what you're looking at, then give you a quick yes or no at no cost at all, and say, hey, yes, you can do this, or no, there's an issue.
So
But yeah,
even if
we can.
someone is going to buy an Airbnb and use it just 1 week out of the year, they cannot use the self-directed IRA.
That's correct. Unless they're over 59 and a half, then there's a complicated way of doing it. But yes,
Interesting,
that's
interesting.
right.
So I will let people know that you can use the DSCR loan. You just can't use your IRA funds for the down payment for that. Another question that I had years ago, I loaned some money from my self-directed IRA to somebody, and I was told that if the person is your spouse, at the time, you could not loan to your spouse. Is that still the case?
Still the case. You guys are asking all the right questions. Probably my next slide shows that. Yes, that is a
Okay,
good
yeah.
question.
So who can
No,
use?
you're good. Feel
That's
free to
gonna
ask.
be the
Yeah,
next question. Yes, because
I'm gonna show you here.
uh-huh.
Actually, it looks like it's my 401ks next. So this is good for Ashley. Let me talk about the benefits 401k, and then I think that slide's next. I'm about
Okay.
done here as
Can
well on
can
slides.
I
So
answer
okay.
Ashley? So Ashley is asking a very good question about it has to be a non-recourse loan. This is correct for DSCR. So for our lending purposes, we don't care if it's a recourse loan or non-recourse loan, but usually for your retirement account, they will ask if it is a non-recourse loan. And we have a lender that does non-recourse loans. So you can contact me if you want to know more about that.
That's right. That's right. Whenever your IRA is buying an asset, it has to be a non-recourse loan
Hmm.
that you're using. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's right. Good. So, a 401k, the reason why people love solo 401ks, just you can borrow against your 401k up to $50,000 or 50%, which is one nice benefit. I wouldn't say that's the biggest benefit because you should try not to borrow against your 401k, but you can. I think the biggest benefit of a solo 401k is the amount you can contribute to it. And so if you're looking to contribute 60, $70,000 a year, that is probably the biggest reason to use a 401k. There's also some, a little bit more protection and when you're dealing with a 401k than a traditional retirement account. There's some also differences when you're borrowing money. But for the most part, I see people use it because they're looking to contribute a lot more. For example, if you typically can only contribute seven or $8,000, or let's say in a simple or SEP IRA, there's limits. Typically, you're lending up to 20 to $30,000. With a 401k, depending upon how much you make and pay yourself, you can go all the way up to like $70,000 now, and that changes every year. It could be like 71,000 or 2,000. But that's one of the biggest benefits is the amount you can contribute. And then, we do have people that sometimes have emergencies or want to borrow money. You can do it through a 401k. You cannot do it through any other retirement account. And so those that qualify for a 401k, you have to have self-employed or have one of these active entities, and not have a W-2, no W-2 employees. Here it is. There you go. Contributions to solo 401k, which is totally different, right? For all other retirement accounts. This is the biggest reason why people do self-directed IRA accounts. Cherie, here's a slide you're talking about. I think that you wanted to hear. This is who you can and cannot invest with. So the red is who you cannot lend to, basically. And so you can't lend to your spouse or kids or parents, but you can lend to those in blue. You can lend to your brother, sister-in-law, cousin. I only have personal opinions of why that's the rule. But it seems a little bit obvious, right? If you were to lend to your son and part of your IRA, and your son or daughter stop making payments, I assume you're not going to go after them. Funny enough, if you lend to your brother, I actually do think you might go after your brother and go collect.
It
So maybe those are,
depends.
yeah, right. Maybe that's why those are the rules. But these are the rules. This is who you can and cannot invest or use your retirement funds to lend to. You can though. You can partner. For example, like you and your spouse or you and your father can both have IRAs, and your kids, like my kids, we all could put our IRAs together and invest in something together. That's totally fine. I just can't give him my IRA and lend it to him for just because it's pretty easy to not follow through with certain terms. So and then the things you can't invest in is much easier than the list of things you can invest in, because you can almost invest in anything. But those are the things you can't invest in. Typically, you can't invest in coins and precious metals and alcohol, antiques and rugs, things like that. Look, I've kind of talked about this, but this is a big one. Looking and if you're trying to find money, like I said, there's over 100 million IRAs in the United States. So most likely 50% of the people have some kind of IRA or old 401k. So this message applies to them. And most people are frustrated with the stock market. And sharing this message about self-directing is truly just someone can get excited about it and just do a portion of their funds. Nobody has to move all of their retirement funds to a self-directed IRA account and invest in real estate. So it's something that some people do, and you can do a portion of and kind of get their feet wet before they do more of their funds. Uh, Look, so the other thing that we do at Horizon Trust Company is I constantly am doing webinars every 2 weeks for our clients, and new clients they're looking to learn more about it. It's still new, even though it's been around for 40 years. Financial advisors don't teach you how to do this. They don't tell you that you can do this. And this is not hating on financial advisors. I mean, I also get that most Americans shouldn't do this unless you have done your research and understand the asset that you're investing in. And so it's important for you to educate yourself, and I think also just to whet the appetite of others. Because people are so frustrated with the stock market, this is a great place for people to learn more, see what their options are, and start investing in things they might like and know and understand better, frankly. Last couple slides here, just the process. It's really simple. Once someone is interested in opening up an account, I get texts and emails and just messages all the time. Every day I get a message from somebody, and it's a lot of times like someone like Cherie. So Cherie would send me a text or email saying, "Hey, I just told someone about the self-directing thing. Would you mind have someone from your team call and talk to her or him and show them how their IRA can be self-directed so then they can partner with me? And we do that. So you do not have to be the expert. You do not have to explain all of it, how it works and all the steps. We do it. We make it very simple. We do typically a 15, 20-minute phone call with somebody, show them how it works, how simple it is. And we help them kind of get their account set up, get their monies transferred over from where it might be over to us. And then once they get over to us, they can start after your account's funded. Then you end up filling out a direction of invest form, which basically is a form online that you tell us, hey, I want to send my money to title or to this LLC or this, this syndication, this deal. We follow the instructions, we wire the funds, we make sure it's titled correctly. So we do this thousands of times every month. And then the last thing here, and I'll take it off the shared screen here, but I'm going to give my email in the chat as well. You can schedule a call. Whatever you want to do, you can get a hold of, me, you can get a hold of Cherie. You can, it's there's no hard sale from me or my team. We really love what we do. And we want to teach people how they can, how the self-directed IRA works for them and their friends and their partners. And if it works, great, great. And if not, it's not the right time, that's fine too. But if you are, again, looking to scale your own IRA and do better than you're currently doing, this is a great spot for it. Or if you're looking to scale and you need business partners or lending, there's so many people around you and that have monies that are just kind of sick of the stock market. So yeah, that's my kind of the PowerPoint here. But I'm going to also put my email in here, greg@horizontrust.com.
Yeah, and also
You,
put that link to the URL that you showed.
yeah, I
We
can
are
do that.
asking people to use this specific link, just so that Greg can know that Rob, you're part of either the Gritiverse or Simply Funded, or what we're doing over here, and Greg can know that Rob was part of the reason why you were brought to him. So.
Um, Sending it to, I'm putting it in there. 1 second. I'll do that.
Mhm. And I'm going to put well, I don't want to put your email address on Facebook. I'm just going to put
It's
your link.
okay. You can put it in. It doesn't bother me. I get,
Okay.
you
You have very
can
good
put,
spam filters, because every once in a while there's, weirdness happening on Facebook.
no, it doesn't bother me. I get
Okay.
people that will, but no, email me or, schedule an appointment, a link on our link. And we just want to help answer questions and see if it's a right fit. If there's interest to you. And it's truly, you're able to just, I was able to raise hundreds of millions of dollars just through IRAs. Before I owned a trust company, and so I only started a trust company because I referred so many people to trust companies and the service was so terrible. It made my investment look bad. I was raising so much money and referring them to these trust companies, and they would take so long to get the account set up. I was losing business. And so finally I was like, I'm going to start my own trust company. And now that is what I do. I spend 90% of my time on that. And I just do some investments, with my own funds. But that's why I got into the space, into the self-directed space, because I just know how people are just frustrated with the stock market. They're frustrated with the volatility of the stock market, and everyone pretty much gets real estate. They understand, and so even when the market's not so great, when your IRA owns a real piece of real estate, they might just have to hold on to it longer,
Hmm.
or they'll just get rental income from it, and that works as well.
Yeah. So, what are the fees for your service?
Yeah, so our fee is asset based, and so it's a sliding scale. So it's less, it's 1%. It's never more than 1%. So it's whatever you're paying right now, I can assure you it's going to be less than your financial advisor.
Mm.
That being said, it's less the bigger the account is, and so like at $100,000, it's approximately a 0.5%. And
Okay.
so you're going to be paying $500 a year. But it's on our website. Sorry, I'm not the best. There's like a sliding scale. Once it's like at 1 million, it's your account, and then I think it's like 0.25% or 20 basis points. But like 40,000 or less, it's 1%. But yeah, it's 1% or less,
Okay.
depending
And that's
upon the
per
account value.
year.
That's per year. The
And
first year is the only
there's
year that it's not based on asset. The first year it's a fixed setup fee depending upon the account. It's anywhere from $500. If you want the solo 401k, it can go up to $2,500. But the first year is the only one that just depends on what kind of account you're looking for,
Okay.
and how big the account is. But after year one, it's just the assets under. It's just anywhere from, our typical fee that someone's paying is between 50 and 65 basis points, so about 0.5% per year.
Okay. And then Ashley's also asking, what's included in the setup?
Again, depends on what you're looking to do. So if
Mm.
you're looking for a solo K and you need a checkbook you want an LLC as well. So the setup can be it could be a LLC with the operating agreement with your 401k plan, uh, and a Roth account as well that's tied to your 401k. It could be, and I don't want to kind of get people too confused, but it just kind of depends. And
Mm.
so if you're just looking to like move over an account, let's say you have a traditional IRA or an old 401k and you want to just have a self-direct account with us, that's pretty simple. That's gonna the first year setup fee and annual fee altogether is gonna be somewhere between $500 and $1,000 total. If you're looking for more of the 401k and the checkbook LLC with the operating agreement and all those things, it's gonna be between, I'd say, 1,200 and $2,000. Again, that's only in year one. After that, it's typically around a 0.5% per
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. So, um, I
And
do.
that comes out of your IRA. Sorry, one last thing. Sure.
Sure.
Your IRA pays that. So you're not having to give us a credit card or a check. It comes out of it's an IRA fee. So
Very cool. All right. So I do want to let people know that Rob right now and the company Simply Funded, we are looking for private lenders, which is why we invited Greg to come on. We are really increasing our outreach within the community. We found um, a place in the market where a lot of the institutional investors don't want to participate, but where you as a private lender could do very well, and your investment is secured by the real estate, and you have our team doing the vetting of the person and the project and the expected rental income that comes in. So I'll tell everybody what our opportunity is that we're focusing on. We've noticed a lot of people in our great network want to do short-term rentals where they want to buy a property and they want to buy it in rural areas. And a lot of institutional investors will not want to touch those properties. But we have three really good realtors, for example, in the Shenandoah Front Royal area. They know the comps, they know the properties, things like that. We've got great borrowers with 700 plus credit, good jobs, all of that.
mm,
We do hard credit pulls, all of that, right? So we would like to be able to add people to our list of private lenders where we come to you and say, hey, we have a person, they're under contract, they're buying this property. We don't do 100% funding for anybody. People have to, like the borrowers have to put money on the table as well, right?
yeah,
Which is, I know that there are other private lenders that say, oh, we'll give you 100%. We don't over here. Like, I want to know that borrower has money on the table, right? But what happens is within 12 to 18 months of that person running that short term rental, they're able to refinance based on how the property is actually doing with the revenues. And if you all are part of the Gritiverse, we have Aaron Kavanaugh, who is our short term rental guy, who really works with that buyer to maximize their profits. And then we are able to do the cash out DSCR refinance and make sure that you get your money back, and everybody's happy, etc. So I will be reaching out to people one-on-one to see if you want to be placed on the list. That every time we have a loan opportunity, you'll get a really simple email. Hey, we've got this borrower, this property. These are the numbers. What do you think? And if you say yes, you raise your hand. Then closings happen anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the buyer and the contract and a couple of other things. So
mm.
um, Ashley is asking, so these are personal mortgage or business purpose loans. So these are business purpose loans. We do not loan to people buying primary homes. Absolutely not. It's too much to foreclose on them. So
Hmm.
they have to be buying it for either a fix and flip or for that short-term rental is where we've really found where there's a hole in the marketplace that we can fill. And we only do it in areas where we have realtors that really know the market. So we're doing it here in Northern Virginia, in the Richmond area, in Raleigh, North Carolina, and in Knoxville, Tennessee, where we have access to the construction company and the realtor that knows the comps. So perfect, Ashley. Yeah, I would love to meet with your students as well. So talk with them more about this. Anybody else have questions? You can unmute yourself if you want to, or you can put your questions in the chat.
What's the Gretaverse?
Gridiverse. Oh, okay. So Grid, GRID, is a real estate investment networking group. We have meetings all over the place. I think there are 40 communities all over the country, but we call it the Gridiverse, which just basically means it's the collection of people and communities that we have. So, so if you'd like to come, Ash, I think you've been out to one of the grid meetings, right? No? Okay,
No,
I'll have to
I
invite
found
you.
you through the creator recommendation network on Kit.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have to let the team know that then. So thanks. So yeah, so we'll connect and I'll see where you're located and if we have a community near you.
Okay, I'm in LA.
Okay, we do have an LA group. Yes. So guy named Nick runs it. He's really good. You'll like him.
Awesome.
Um, thank you, Kimberly, for coming in. Anybody else wants to ask a question of Greg or myself? Well, Greg, I think
Good,
you've
good. Question.
everybody's initial questions. Um, what are your final thoughts with regards to this? I've always been a fan of self-directed IRAs. I think so I'm a diversity person, diversify your portfolio, right? So I'm not a financial advisor either, but from my own personal portfolio, some of it I keep in the stock market, and then some of it I would want on this side, um, whether I'm investing in real estate or investing in crypto or some of the other asset classes. It doesn't scare me that the money has to be used for retirement. And I will say this as well, especially for people doing fix and flips with self-directed IRAs, you cannot take the money out for profits and like spend it on yourself today. It actually has to go back in your IRA. So strategically, you have to think about that as you are looking at profits. But imagine being able to exponentially add money to your self-directed IRAs every year, much more than somebody who's getting 8% on the stock market. So, not financial advice. So, should say that. But what else do you have to? Oh, we have a question here from Amy. Can I buy a long-term rental property with my solo 401k or self-directed IRA, as long as the rental property income then goes straight back into the IRA? So that's a question for you, Greg.
Yeah, and I think sure you just kind of nailed it right there with what you just said. So yeah, you can absolutely buy a long-term rental with your self-directed IRA or
Mm-hmm.
401k. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
buy it, and this all the income, the net income goes into your back into your retirement account, and then when you go to sell the asset, then that would eventually go back into your retirement account as well.
Right.
And so all that's compounded. You're not paying taxes on that. And now, and you will later when you pull it out, unless you convert it to a Roth account, which you can most likely do as well.
Right. So you can come to us for the loan. So let's say that you're buying a property where you want to put down 25% and you need a loan for the other 75%. You're able to actually leverage us in order to get you that 30-year DSCR loan Basically, it just means that the rental income has to pay for the mortgage. That's the SCR. Um,
Mhm.
can the rental income pay for the mortgage? Yes. Do you have a credit score above a 660? Yes. Great. Practically approved. Of course, we got to do title and appraisal, right? Um, but you are able to, Amy, get maybe 3 or 4 houses instead of using all of your money to just get one house. Um, and you can do that through the power of leverage with us and the non-recourse loans. So, well, we have one lender that does non-recourse loans. I have to check on the others. So, but we do have it available. You are welcome, Amy. Greg, final comments, anything you're thinking?
Yeah, look, my final comments are, well, first, thank you for being here today, and Ashley, thanks for throwing all those questions. They were great questions.
Mhm.
I would just, this is probably one of the most unassuming and just subjects that people look over. They look past it. They and there's just every time I go to a mastermind or an event, one of the number one things people say is, how do I find money? And then they'll say, hey, let me introduce you to the guy with IRAs. Everyone shuts off and they don't know that I'm telling them where the money's at. And so this is one of those things. If you're looking to scale, looking for partners, looking for equity before you go get a loan, like Sri just talked about, like you got to have equity. And let's say your IRA only has 25 grand. Well, your IRA can do that with a partner that has an IRA too. So now all of a sudden you come together and buy an asset and borrow monies. And so it's just it's all around you. And if you're looking to scale and you've got an IRA, this is just one of the best things you can do. So
Mhm.
I appreciate you having me on today.
Absolutely. So, everybody, I hope you know how to get in touch with Greg. So, I'm going to make sure you all have his email address again. Reach out to him. Even if you are not sure if what you have would, count or could be used, talk to him. I'm
Yep,
sure,
absolutely.
he'll let you know. Like, yes, you could do this, no, or strategize with you with regards to how you can make certain things happen within your portfolio. So, Greg, thanks so much for joining us for Money Monday. And I will be in touch with you soon as well. Sure that we're going to be bringing and sending a lot of people to you to get these things set up.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. And you guys have a good rest of your week.
All right, you too. Take care. Bye,
All right, bye bye.
everybody.